Your job is to remember. Once you do that, everything else becomes clear. The powers that were want you divided, disconnected, and dismembered, separated from your head. Your head is separated from your heart, which is separated from the rest of your body, which is separated from your gut, which is, separated from your nervous system. They do that so that you feel dysregulated and exhausted, so that you are easier to control. So your job is to remember. First things first, who am I? I'm Sheba. I'm a transformation specialist, sovereignty coach, and ex lawyer. And I help women, leaders, and creators. What have I been saying? What did I just come up with? Reclaim their power, unlock their true selves, and create the life of their dreams. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, definitely stick around for this message because we get into it. So, your job is to remember. Remember what, you might ask? So, you're here to remember because you've been dismembered. You are here to remember all the dismembered and discarded parts of you. Oof. So that is talking about healing. So your job, you would invest in your job, in the tools you need to complete your job. And so since your job is to remember the dismembered and discarded parts of you, you're going to have to invest in maybe some therapy. Maybe you're going to have some introspection. You're going to have to set up some boundaries. Oh, create some boundaries. And this is all to recall your power, all the kind of separated parts of you. Recall that, align all of your parts, and now that you're aligned, like all of your parts are together, healed, remembered, then you align them, and now you start acting in concert with yourself rather than how you used to, acting in a fractured way. Oh, your head tells you this, but your heart tells you this, and your gut tells you another thing, and your nervous system is saying a whole other thing, but you were taught to ignore the nervous system, mistrust the gut, disregard the heart, and, overburden your mind and your nervous system. Yeah, your nervous system really been taking on a lot. And so now you're remembering, you're aligning your head, your heart, your gut, your nervous system, your body. And now you're acting in concert. And that is how you unlock your power, unlock your true self. You do this remembering. It's like in Power Rangers, they had like a Megazord, like you could be successful just as your own like saber-toothed tiger and mastodon and what is it, triceratops or whatever. But you're only going to defeat Rita Repulsa if you remember. I'm sure Megazord could do perfectly fine with like 5 of the 6 members. But really, in order to save the day, you got to have all of your parts. You got to remember. You've been dismembered and you need to remember all of those different parts, and they have to be acting in concert so you can get what you want. So that's the first type of remembering. That's the first aspect of your job of remembering. And the second part is to remember that you are source. You are God experiencing itself in your personal avatar. So how do you operate in the world when you remember that? When you remember like, oh wait, I'm like God in a human suit. And so like I have the power to create and destroy, to give life, to, really do magic, to create art. I have the power to do all that. And so, what an honor, when I remember that, like, I am source, God is expressing through me, it's easier for me to express, to navigate through life. Cause I'm like, okay, well, what would a God want? I always think of like, Isis, who is this Egyptian goddess, and her great myth is that like her, divine brother husband, Osiris, he was unalived and dismembered, and all the different parts of him were scattered all over the world. And so Isis, she like goes to Thoth, gets the magic, and she grieves, and then she goes and finds all of the dismembered parts of Osiris. She puts it back together. She does a magic incantation over it, and then he comes back to life. He resurrects. And then they have a kid, Horus. Anyway, this process of remembering after being dismembered is how you resurrect. So, yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff about like, you've just unlocked this new identity, this new character. This is really who you came here to be. So it's like you're kind of remembering who you came here to be. A god in a human suit. So I was talking about Isis because she is this great magician. She uses the magic to defy what we thought were the laws of this earthly realm. We were like, oh, people can't come back from the dead. You know what? Nature always finds a way. And so, yeah, you have that same power. It's magic to remember oneself and to do it to someone else also. But yeah, when you remember, you have the power to reunite all of these severed parts of yourself. The parts that have been divided and separated and fractured, because that makes it easier for someone else to control you, right? That's what the Israelis do. That's why they tried to divide and fracture Palestine, separate the people, divide and conquer. And they've tried to do that same thing to you. They've convinced you to fracture yourself, divide yourself, compartmentalize. Oh, put yourself into little boxes. So your head's over here and your heart's over here, your gut's over here. Never, shall they meet. Your job is to remember. So yeah, sometimes I think about like, what if, if I were this goddess, let's say Isis, who understands the value of coming to Earth School, learning what magic and power lies here. She's a great magician. She's going to do whatever it takes to gain the knowledge to, control reality, manipulate the laws of the universe to control reality how she wants to. She would definitely pay whatever it costs to like get quality therapy, you know, to take a class, to learn a new skill, a new form of divination, or something about the ancient mysteries, the other schools of thought, what other people have come up with. That's part of the remembering process, of the healing process. So yeah, I feel like it's healing and living. Like the healing is the like remembering all the parts, like you separating all these parts, you're calling it back, aligning it, and that unlocks your power. It enables you to start, you know, moving in power, in alignment, in flow, in magic. And then the living is remembering that you are God. You are divine. The divine is flowing through you. You are in the image of the divine. So you're the divine. So sometimes you might be tempted to be like, oh, I'm just a human. So I only have these little things that I can do. These one or two paths. Like, no, you're just wearing a human suit. You, Earth Angel, Anointed One, you have infinite possibilities. The divine, in fact, likes to express more freely than the humans have allowed it to. So be that human, to let the divine express, flow freely, be expansive, be weird, be kind of cringe. That's magic, babe. That's magic. Loud, strange, a little uncomfortable, a little exciting. Remember. So, I see you. I see the God in you. But your job is to remember. And once you do that, once you do your job, once you remember, then everything else will fall into place. You'll know exactly what the next right aligned divine step is. So get to it. Well, my loves, I delivered the message. So let me know what you think, okay? Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like a personal reading or you want to go all in with me. Head on over to my website, SeeLikeSheba.com. Link is in my bio. And go back and watch some of these episodes. They work as standalones, but there's also a cosmic thread that unites them all. Ooh. And you'll see how I became the woman who went from easily receiving $5,000 every month to effortlessly receiving $100,000 every single month. Ooh. And that's because I know that all I got to do, my only real job, is to remember. All right, my loves. I love you so much. I see you, Earth Angels. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?